Thank you very much. Yeah, and so welcome back to the afternoon session. And earlier, just for the spotlight session, that's exactly what I'm doing all the time. That's helping our startup to pitch and also to get investment and also bring them to a different part of the world. And as my name is XiaoChen, and I'm going to share with you that in what we are doing as of in the past a few years in just bringing the most promising blockchain startups from different country to the new frontier market. And now that in the morning I shared with you that there is some pessimistic kind of atmosphere in the whole blockchain community, and I break it down into a few things. One is, from the digital currency, price volatility becoming a big issue. Think about that. Why investors don't want to invest now, and in a few months ago, that their Bitcoin price, one Bitcoin equal to almost $20,000. Now it's around $6,000. Whenever they make one investment, they lost around 2.5 times. So of course that's that's becoming an issue, and for the investment community and also for the fundraising efforts. And in general, one of the key innovation for blockchain is really the digital currency aspect. So with the volatility of the price, and it's very hard for digital currency to take the function of a money or a payment method. So that's why stablecoin becoming some of the alternative. But of course, as in the morning session, many discussed, is that really the only way, and that actually create opportunity for the startup community. And also from the blockchain technology, many just tell that blockchain doesn't work for this or for that. It's not blockchain doesn't work. It's the early stage blockchain technology has early stage problem. And that's a very important distinction. And taking internet back to 1990s, and it doesn't have the power to do anything what we are experiencing now. So using the same metaphor to just look at the blockchain technology, and many wanted the privacy, wanted the scalability, wanted the security type of feature for the technology. It has the promise, but it is not there yet. That's also just gave, again, startups a lot of promise that this is the opportunity that you can just revolute the market, provide a better technology. And number three is, smart contract now that's in many, especially established business or large organizations, is a dumb contract. It's too dumb to be successful. And why that? Think about that, in a contract in the real world, and it's very complicated. It even can reflect the human experience, all that. Now, convert that experience into code. Code cannot really reflect the reality as much as now. Again, it's not a smart contract has problem. It's a smart contract at early stage is not smart enough. That's why, again, for startups, it's opportunity. And ICOs and fundraising innovations, and thinking about in how many countries ICO are being defined as illegal, and also in how many countries where that they don't have really the regulatory experience or to just have a large global presence. Now they're becoming the dominant market. Because in those more mature markets that ICOs and other innovative fundraising method is being defined as illegal. So then they have to find some of the jurisdiction where that they can operate. But it may not be the most healthy. That's actually also, again, to provide now two type of opportunity. One is from the startup side, that to be more innovative, find a way to just create more compliance fundraising innovations, and tokenized security is one of the example. But of course, it also provides opportunity for the nation state or government to just be more open to innovation. One example is that UK is working with United States and also the Commonwealth countries to create this cross-border sandbox. where that you comply in one country, you can also be compliant in another country. So this kind of type of innovation is really important. And the next one is again regulations. And the regulation, the complexity, and many countries didn't really just be innovative enough or be open enough. For example, many just banned it. Think about there are so many good ones. Think about so many startups which have your nationality, it's a national company, but you push them away to be an international company, and then the revenue, taxation, job creation, other opportunities just being lost due to only one single fact that you are not really capable of regulating properly. So all this just to create a new type of opportunities for the market. So that's also just bring to our focus. For us, that's we are really just ecosystem incubator and investor. What does that mean? We focus on three types of deals. One is the blockchain infrastructure, and from the infrastructure that we can looking at the more advanced blockchain, public ledger, and other infrastructure technology, which can just make the technology more mature. Then the tools which are available for the traditional financial market, for the traditional smart manufacturing industry, and all that, which are not available yet for the blockchain industry, if we call it industry as of now. So we invest in those tools which are making this industry more mature. Next one is that we, of course, also invest in applications where those apps can transform or disrupt the existing business models in existing traditional industries. Here I gave you a few examples. And who do you know ArcBlock? Do you know AirBlock? The interesting part is, Wall Street Journal just did a research, and then they just compared around 1,400 white paper. The finding is really interesting. More than 20% of white paper, more than 20% of the white paper has faked members of the team, and around 10% of the white paper are having the similar language with other white papers. And also there are around 5% of the startup or the white papers has a problem of plagiarism. So in this, that's thinking about if this is the reality, and we as investors, we cannot remember this 7,000, 8,000 in the future, maybe million white papers. They are copying with each other. How can we have a tool to really identify those faked ones, scams, then to invest the right ones? So then we are now doing due diligence for this MyCoinRisk as a startup. They use big data to really just analyze the investee white paper against a database of all available white papers. Think about that. That can just really take our responsibility of doing due diligence against 10,000 white papers, that kind of burden away. And these kind of tools are very important, and we are looking at different tools. Heidi also mentioned about her tools, and we're also very interested in that as well. And the next is the next generation blockchain, and gave you a few examples. We just have one incubatee who just did the test, and then their TPS can reach to now around 1 million, and which is really very encouraging. Thinking about all the complaint that it's too slow and it's just the gas fee is too high and all that. And now we are looking at the alternative or the next generation of ledger, which just perform better. And another example is that from the application, we look at how blockchain can really disrupt the existing tacit model an example is the Grameen Bank. And if you work in the access to finance, you probably know, Grameen Bank's model, how they are successfully removing many of the people in poverty out of poverty. And now that we are looking at their model to just using blockchain to disrupt their existing model and helping more to scale up the Grameen Bank's model in more countries. So we have, another is like a car life and in the automobile industry, and is thinking about in many existing business like Kata coin, etc. And traditional business using blockchain can really disrupt their existing models, and those are another example or category that we are looking at. Lastly is we call it next generation solution, and thinking about that. Before, there's no such solution available, but with blockchain, it really creates this kind of alternative. One example is the ZOS. Thinking about P2P lending or just lending in general, and many times that we have P2P lending without collateral, without any backed assets, without guarantee, and that may provide a lot of risk for this lending portfolio from both buyer and the lender. And with blockchain and smart contracts and also digital assets, thinking how smart it is, then you have digital asset to be just used on the to be listed on the smart contract, and where that if the default happens, then the digital asset transfer directly. So in this, that's you really create a new type of solution for existing business models. And so, how can we find them? And there are a lot of blockchain startups around the world. That this is our upcoming Digital X100 acceleration program. Start from beginning that we launched Blockchain for Impact World Championship, and in around 10 countries that we identify the top investors working with us to build teams, then to compete. Each team receive applications or submissions from the local community, startup communities, and then from each country we selected the top 5, and from 10 countries that we selected the top 30, where that then they will be eligible for our 10 weeks acceleration program. During the 10 weeks that they will be provide a lot of resources to help them to be successful, including our blockchain funding academy and also our investment. By the end of the 10 weeks, we put around $100,000 to $3 million. So this is what we call it on October 30, sorry, not 20, that we'll host our Blockchain for Impact World Championship semi-final in Silicon Valley. So if you still have not submitted your application, and write to us, info@fintech4good.co. And during this 10 weeks, we'll just work with the startup on baseline, opportunities, vision, innovation, creativity, tokenomics, legal and taxation, ICO process, promotion, launch, and growth, storytelling, fundraising, and demo. And this is like a 1 week long version of investment-focused program offered for our startup. From know your investor, and we bring all the traditional and crypto investor to the table, and then have the ICO preparation, back 1 legal compliance, and the pitch day. So we also have research team. When our startup, for example, working on central bank digital currency, then we just bring our research team capacity to help them to do background research. And we also help them to just do the stakeholder engagement. And we have Blockchain Influencer 500 program, where that we give them the advisors and other ecosystem players. Global Blockchain Roundtable, which is the webinar that we organize with a lot of partners. And there that we can help them to do a lot of stakeholder engagement. We also have a Blockchain Cable TV, and where that's we are going to launch the Blockchain Shark Tank, and in multiple countries, and with the original Shark Tanks, and this will be helping them to reach profile and also reach their solution to more countries. And these are some of our influencers, and currently we have around 250 influencers from different countries, and we are like on a daily basis adding more and more influencers. And for each vertical that we organize a lot of competition. And if you are in the healthcare blockchain space, please feel free to submit to the Converge Accelerator, which is a healthcare blockchain competition. And if you are working on automobile in a blockchain solution, that you're welcome to just submit your application to our automobile blockchain world championship. And we have hosted the finals on October 24th in Shanghai. So that's much about it. That's if you work in any of those countries, or if you want to enter into any of those markets, and write to us. And of course, if you're an investor, you want to get involved in the acceleration program, or co-invest, or just be a mentor to just work with our startup, write to us. Thank you very much.